So the last class yesterday, let me repeat for 5 minutes what has been happened. Yesterday somebody asked me a question. Sir, can you repeat what is the difference between interpreter and JIT compiler? Let me speak on it for 5 minutes overall flow. Okay, right. We are closing. Our bytecode will be executed on JVM. JVM stands for what now? Java Virtual Machine. This JVM has how many parts now majorly? 3 parts. One is class loader subsystem, one is runtime data area, one is execution engine. That's the point. Now the class loader subsystem will take that bytecode and load it onto runtime data area using loader. That's the point. This runtime data area internally divided into 5 memory blocks. One is method area, heap area, Java stack area, PC register area, and native method area. The memory block where the class is loaded, we are calling it as method area. The memory block where the object is created, we are calling it as a heap area. The memory block where the methods are executed, we are calling it as a Java stack area. The first method copied onto Java stack area is main method. It's a theoretical information available with you. Whatever the method executing in Java stack area, the method will be opened with one separate PCR, program counter register, to monitor the method execution in Java stack area. In this process, how many methods are available in Java stack area? That many program counter registers are opened in a separate memory block known as PC register area. That's a theory. Some methods from the library are declared with native keyword. We are calling it as native methods. When these native methods are used part of your program, they are separated and loaded onto separate memory block known as native method area. Sir, why they are separated? Why they are declared with native keyword? So your other said the methods are having C and C++ codes are available inside that methods. So they are separated and loaded onto separate memory block, that is native method area. Execution engine, anyway, nothing but one executor or processor. This execution engine will execute your program from main method available in your Java stack area. It finds main method and starts execution from the main method. It's a theory. This execution engine is having 2 translators. One is interpreter, one is JIT compiler. It's a pity. So among these 2 translators, one has to start the execution process. So interpreter will start the execution process and executes normal instructions. Normal means non-multimedia instructions. Whenever the interpreter finds any stream instructions or multimedia instructions, then the execution control is transferred to JIT compiler. JIT stands for what now? Just in time compiler. It's a theory. So simply you can remember, interpreter will execute normal instruction. JIT compiler will execute multimedia instruction. If somebody asked in the interview, you must speak it. Whenever the native methods come for execution, then your your execution engine will take the support of JNI. JNI stands for what now? Java Native Method Interface to execute native methods. That you have to speak it. So these are the overall things to be remembered once theoretically. Why we write the notes of JVM first only means when we entered into huge practicals, we never find time to come back to the basic. So because of first only we write it. I know that students will understand only 50% of JVM because many programs not completed, no. But even then we record the notes and we come forward, because when we are doing practicals, slowly you can understand what method area contains, what heap area contains, what that PC register will do. That all informations will come again. But theoretically we return the notes and going forward. Got it right? Again, we never find time. Once inheritance comes, encapsulation, polymorphism, that all concepts comes, we are busy with many programs. Again, you cannot come back to the basic part and write it. So first only we write the notes. So we completed the notes and we are going forward. Sir, among this, what I should remember means only 3 points to be remembered from the JVM. Method area, where class is loaded, heap area, where objects created, Java stack area, where methods are executed. The 3 points you remember. And daily prepare your mindset. Venkatesh sir said there are two locations in Java. One is class location, one is object location. Anybody disturb you also, don't disturb it. It is only two locations, class and object. If anybody says third location also, don't listen it. Right? Listen to Venkatesh sir only. One is class location, one is object location. Got it right? If any component want to get the memory in the class, we declare that component with what keyword now? Static. We call it as static components. Static components will get the memory within the class. So if the static keyword is removed, we call it as what now? Non-static component. The non-static component will get the memory within the object. So this is the theoretically I prepared your mindset. Can I go forward? Right. Now, these are all static component, non-static component, I'll prove it now with variables. Variables are coming into my hand or not now? When the variables comes, I'll bring. So variables are coming means before that data type will come. If I want write variable int a, I must introduce int or not now. Then all I must write a, no. That I mean, if I want write int a, before writing that a as an variable, I must introduce int or not now. To introduce that int only, I brought data types in Java. It's a concept. So online students, wait till the ending anyway. I'll speak to you. Now today's concept is data types in Java. Again, this also naming conventions, rules anyway. I'll follow the rules and come. Wherever I follow, I'll reveal that rule to you and I'll educate you slowly. So many programs I'm going to write it. Almost 100 plus programs I will type for you. So your patience, how much you want to type it. Many people will not give my assignments. They'll go out of my batch. Only 1 or 2 students only do my assignments up to now. Almost my strengths will be 150 plus in each batch. But only 1 or 2 students they will do. So that many assignments I'll pump it. How much patience is there, your wish. How much you want to work it, you can work it. My material is available to you, 560 pages. I will type it with 100 programs. Your wish. If you are a patience, if you are working 4 hours per day practical, you can do my assignments. Understood this point? Frankly, I'm speaking it out. So no need to buy any material in the market. I am preparing a material. Live class material is prepared. Understood this point now? I'm taking one concept. I'm discussing that concept. I'm recording that concept in your book. So live recording is going on the notes. Understood, right? Right. Now I'm entering into data types in Java. Right. Enter it. Look here. Data types means read reversely now. Types of data. Yes or no? Data types means types of data. The types of data which we are expecting as input to Java program. We are calling it as data types in Java. That's not discussion. Java program is there means how many types of data are coming into my Java program. That's all we are analyzing. Data types means types of data. Make a statement. The types of data, which we are expecting as input to Java programs. The types of data, underline that, types of data. The types of data which we are expecting as input to Java programs are known as data types in Java. The types of data which we are expecting as input to Java programs are known as data types in Java. Okay, right. Look here. In Java, only two data types will be there. How many data types? Only two. Primitive data types and non-primitive data types. Only two will be there. Make a statement. Data types in Java are categorized into two types. Data types in Java are categorized into two types. One, primitive data types, non-primitive data types. Primitive data types and non-primitive data types. Primitive data types and non-primitive data types. Only two types will be there for us. Look here, how to remember means, look here. Our Java program is there. For the Java program, one single value is coming. Single value is coming. A single valued format, we call it as primitive. We call it as what now? Primitive. Single value is coming means primitive. Group will come sometimes. Group is coming means non-primitive. Example, you take array. Array is group or singular? Group. Now array comes under primitive or non-primitive? Non-primitive. That's all. Class. You written no. Class is a collection of variable, method, main. Now class is a group or singular? Group. Now class comes under primitive or non-primitive? Non-primitive. That's all. Single is there means primitive. Group is there means non-primitive. Only two types will be there in Java. Don't listen to anybody. So only Venkatesh sir. Single value means primitive. Group value means non-primitive. String. You take string now. String is a sequence collection of characters in your name. Right. Now string comes under primitive or non-primitive? Non-primitive. It is a singular group. Group. Already string S capital you are writing now. S capital you are writing or not now? Starting letter S means what now? Starting letter S capital is a class now. So class comes under non-primitive. So group valued data formats are non-primitive. Single valued data formats are primitive. Java accepts only two types, single or group. Make it. The single valued data formats, underline that time, that term you underline it. In the interview, say that time, say that term, single valued data formats. In interview, if anybody asked primitive, say that. Single valued data formats. The single valued data formats are known as primitive data types. Primitive data types. Primitive data types. Now, these primitive data types are categorized into four types. Only four types. This primitive internally categorized into four types. Integer types, float types, character types, Boolean types. Only four will be there. Integer means with decimal or without decimal? Without decimal. Any number coming without decimal. Your phone number. Your phone number comes under integer or float? Decimal point available or not available? Not available. Your PIN number of your ATM center, that is integer or float? Integer. Your account number is integer or float? Integer. Decimal point not there means integer. Understood this pointer now? Integer data types means the numeric data without decimal point, we call it as integer. If any number coming with decimal point, your percentages, Your percentage come with decimal point or not now? If your percentage input is coming to you, that will come with decimal point. That is integer or float? Float. The number with decimal point is float. The number without a decimal point is integer. Other than this two, one character will come. Understand this point now? C, K, A, symbol, that all characters are not now. So third one is a character data type. Other than these three, true or false. We are calling it as what now? Boolean. Boolean not available in C and C++. I don't know about Python. Right? In C and C++, Boolean not there. So in Java, we have a Boolean data type. Total how many types in primitive now? 4 types. What are they? Integer data types, float data types, character data types, Boolean data types. Make a statement. These primitive data types are categorized into 4 types. These primitive data types are categorized into 4 types. Integer data types, float data types, character data type, Boolean data type. There are 4 types available in primitive. So integer data type, float data type, character data type, and Boolean data type. One line under each. The numeric data with decimal point, without decimal point representation. The numeric data without decimal point representation is known as integer data type. The numeric data without decimal point representation is known as integer data type. So example, some 123, 45, 21, this kind of representation without decimal point, we call it as integer data types. Right. Look here. Among integer data type also subcategories are there. Right? There are 4 subcategories we write like this. Types. You make a type class. Types. Among this we had byte, means 1 byte. Byte means how many bits now? 8 bits. Short, 2 bytes. Int, 4 bytes. Long, 8 bytes. So byte, short, int, long. Right. If phone number is coming now, you must use inta, longa, byta, shorta, long. Example I'm saying, right? Again, the clarity will be given with the programs. Here notes will not be written. We in the core Java, especially in our Java, we give the category in the data types and we go forward. In the practical, we do different cases, we take it. Phone number is coming, what you have to use it. Normal number is coming, what you have to use it. So where to use byte, where to use short, we'll give the informations, right? Through practical, we'll give the informations. Today's knowledge is, there are two types available in your data types, primitive, non-primitive. Among primitive, we had 4 types. Among that integer, we had 4 types. What are the 4 types available in the integer now? Byte, short, int, long, right? Go forward. Float data types. The numeric data with decimal point representation. The numeric data with decimal point. The numeric data with decimal point representation. The numeric data with decimal point representation is known as float data type. Float door. Example 123.45, 67.12. With decimal point, we call it as float data types. Among float data types, we had 2 types are there. One is float, 4 bytes. One is double, 8 bytes. One is double, 8 bytes we had it. Float 4 bytes and double 8 bytes. Here also I'll give the clarity. Where to use float, where to use double, you have to wait it. So we write many programs now, slowly, every time we educate it. Wait, write them slowly. Now character. Character. The single valued character. The single valued character which is represented. The single valued character. The single valued character which is represented in single quotes. The single valued character which is represented in single quotes is known as character data type. The single valued character which is represented in single quotes is known as character data type. Example, we write character like this. This kind of representation, we call it as character. We call it as character. Now, types. Here types only one type, that is char. 2 bytes in char. How many bytes in char now? 2 bytes. If anybody knows C language, how many bytes in char in C language? How many bytes? Only one byte. C language will have only one byte. Character will have 2 bytes. If you don't know, no problem. Right. Boolean data type. Boolean data type. The data type which is represented, the data type which is represented in the form of true or false. The data type which is represented in the form of true or false is known as Boolean data type. The data type which is represented in the form of true or false is known as Boolean data type. So here types. Types means only one now. That is Boolean, and the size is 1 bit. Boolean, the size is 1 bit. 1 bit means the bit will have 0 or the bit will have 1. 0 means false, 1 means true. So this is the internal categorizing of primitive to be remembered. First you have to remember them. Then we are going to show them practically, where to use them, how to use them. We show practically. First you must remember the names first. So primitives has 4 types: integer, float, character, and Boolean. Among integer, how many types now? 4 types: byte, short, int, long. So in the total core Java, I'll give the information perfectly to you where to use them. Very clearly, I'll give the information before going to advanced Java. I'll clearly give the information sent to advanced Java where we use byte, where we use short, where we use int, where we use long. The clarity will be given to you through practical. So float has how many types now? 2 types, float and double. Here also I'll give the clarity to you where to use float, where to use double. The clarity will be given. 1 or 2 interview questions also will be recorded. When the programming started, we record it. Typecasting, one chapter will come. Through that typecasting, we reveal many points to you for interview point of view. Got it right? Character, only one we had, char and 2 bytes. One interview question is available here. Why C language use 1 byte? Why Java language use 2 bytes? What is the difference between them? They'll ask one question to you. To educate that question, you have to wait it, because 2 or 3 programs with object oriented, you must write it. Then we reveal that question to you. And Boolean, we are calling it as true or false. We call it as Boolean data type. Clear about the categorization of primitive? Right. Now go for non-primitive, you go it. Non-primitive. Okay. Right. The group valued data formats. Make it. The group valued data formats. The group valued data formats are known as non-primitive data types. The group valued data formats are known as non-primitive data types. Other name is R. Referential data types. referential data types. Underline the term referential data types. In real time, they are using the term in your companies. So normally for easiness, we write non-primitive, opposite we write it. But in the real-time market, when you go for any project development, they'll say referential, take one referential data type, they'll say nothing but non-primitive. Why they are calling it as referential data type, I'll reveal that point to you, underline and keep it. Okay, right. Now, non-primitive data types are categorized into 4 types. Make it. These non-primitive data types, these non-primitive data types are categorized into 4 types. These non-primitive data types are categorized into 4 types. One is class, one is interface, one is array, and one is enum. There are 4 types available in non-primitive. There are 4 types available in non-primitive. 4 types are there. All of you got it now, right? Among primitive, how many types are there? 4. Among non-primitive, how many are there? 4. Among primitive, what are the category now? Integer type, float type, character type, and Boolean type. Among non-primitive, how many are there now? 4. What are they? Class, interface, array, and enum. By heart it. Because total core Java depends upon this 4 only. Total core Java depends upon this 4. One day, Venkatesh sir will write chapter enum, I will write it. Whenever I write enum means before enum, 29 objects will be created. 30th object is enum. That much of journey we make it. 30th object is enum. Before that, 29 objects will come. String objects, proper class objects, collection objects, map objects, lot more objects will be generated. At last, the last object is enum object. Understood now? The total core Java depends upon these 4 categories. Understood this point now, right? So our target is this 4. Our total chapters depends upon this 4. Class, interface, array, and enum. Primitive easy only. Very easy to manage and organize it. Okay, right? Non-primitive training is needed. So these data types, at last you got a clarity in categorization. 2 types are there. I need subcategory. You got it. Got it right. Now I'll scroll up now. Whenever I scroll up now, here some concepts are there. Can you see concepts? Right. What is the first concept here now? Object-oriented programming. But that you have to start it. Sir, why you are starting object-oriented? The reason, first program class came. Second program and third program object should come or not now? First program class came. No problem. It is running already. 2 days back it is executed and waiting. Now object should come or not now? So whenever I want to bring object, I must bring a concept known as what now? Object-oriented programming. Make a heading. Object-oriented programming. Star mark IMP. Sir, you are not writing notes on non-primitive. I said no. The total chapters depends upon non-primitive. They'll come one by one, one by one, one by one. They'll come. Okay, right. Now make a heading. Star mark IMP. Object-oriented. Object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming. Okay, right. Look here. Object-oriented programming means, already you know the definition of programming. The process used to construct the programs. We call it as programming. While constructing programs, our analysis, our design should be converted into source code. That's called programming. Okay, right. Now, I am asking you to write program only, but the program should have class and object. The process of constructing programs using class object concept is known as object oriented programming. Make a statement. The process of constructing programs using class object concept. The process of constructing programs using class object concept is known as object oriented programming. The process of constructing programs using class object concept is known as object oriented programming. Now, in object oriented programming, we control non-primitive data types. Control means we only create, we only manage. So what are its behaviors? We only will understand. We only create objects. We only control them like this. Related to non-primitive, all the work we will do. That only non-object-oriented programming. We only write classes. We only create objects. We only link the class to interfaces. The objects are collected together into one array. All these are under our control. In object-oriented programming, we control non-primitive data types. Make a statement. In object-oriented programming, we control non-primitive data types, or you can say referential data types. In object-oriented programming, we control non-primitive data types or referential data types. That's the meaning. Okay, right. Now, object-oriented programming means presenting your programs in the form of class object concept, and we are going to control non-primitive data types. It's a theory. Okay, right. Now, object-oriented programming means, example, I'll say, you came here to learn. Actually, 10 levels will be there. Under my control, 10 levels are there. Object creation, object location, object components, object types, object cloning, backup, object serializable, object locking, object collection, object sorting, object holding database table data. That is a 10 levels. That is called object-oriented programmer. Not only object-oriented programming. That is a real-time market, actually. Not that, sir, I know abstraction definition, sir. I know, and that is not object-oriented. So you must create object. You must know the location of object. If you close your eyes, you must know what it contains. You must know how many objects are coming. Any protection is there, you must lock the object and protect it. You must convert into stream and send on the network. Right? Whenever you want to take a backup cloning, you have to do it. More objects are there, you collect it. You must keep them in the order. Take the data from the database table and bind it. That is object-oriented. That is a programmer will do. This is the work we have to do. Because we had a word, object-oriented programmer means unique. So that level 10 levels are there. That 10 levels are under my control. Core Java trainer will do the work. Because of this, we had your identity in the market. Core Java trainers will have identity because the basic and fundamental things are under our control. You know object location, where the object is created, heap area. You know object components, what object will hold, statica, non-statica, non-static. You don't know object definition, you don't know object creation. Can I write object definition now? Make it define object. FAQ. Define object. You can check in my Advanced Java book. Any of your friends is there, Venkatesh sir, Advanced Java. Ask him to open the last page. 70 object list will be there. You can ask any of your friend who completed Advanced Java from me. Venkatesh sir, Maipati Advanced Java book, you show it. One biggest diagram will be there, layout. Who are real? Then I asked them to print it and stick on the wall. I said to them, who are interested? Because 70 objects are there. Daily read that 70 objects and sleep it. Because web application is under your control. That is called object-oriented programming. And that 70 objects, I asked them to by-heart them. My Advanced Java students, by-heart it. Don't sleep it. By-heart them. If you are interested, stick on the by-heart them. If that is object-oriented programming and not about theoretical. So that start is coming now. Definition of object we are starting now. You have to travel with me. Object creation, object location, object types. You are going to travel with me. Let us check how many of people are going to travel with me. Define object. Right. So before revealing what is this object to you, I'll take one small case. Look here. Suppose right. Nowadays we had many online job applications are there, roughly. To understand the object, I'm revealing that point to you like this. So I want to apply one online application for group 1. Nowadays the group 1, group 2 is there, no? Right. Group 1 application, I want to apply it. Roughly I'm speaking. Right, okay. Somewhere, I don't know that's. Imagine it, one HTML form will come for them. One user will get one HTML form. Who is applying the job? You will get one HTML form. One HTML form will come. HTML form 1. Right? In this HTML form, post applied for. Right? Next. Your name, your full name, father's name, mother's name, nationality, date of birth, address for your communication, permanent address, and one button is there here. We ask them to click on next. Then user will say next. Next, one more form will come here. So one more form will come. HTML2, you're going for HTML, your trainer will train it. From one form to another form, how to go, he will train it. So HTML form 2 will come. In this HTML form, we had qualification details. From first class, second class, third class, up to degree. They're asking all the details. I filled all the details. Then I clicked on next. Whenever I clicked on next now, so they're asking to upload my scanned copies. That is HTML form 3. About my scanned copies of my documents or whatever it may be. Scanned copies. So at last, I'm uploading my scanned copy here. And I'll go for the next again. I'll go for the next. These are all application format only. So next. And here they will ask my photograph, my thumb impression, my signature. They'll ask me to scan it. After this, they'll go for my payment. What kind of payment you want to do? Online, offline, whatever it may be, do the payment. So after my payment, they'll ask, Do you want to see the preview? Your option will come. Here, preview. You want to see your details and you want to submit it finally. Now, whenever I click on preview, all my details will come. From where it is coming, sir, I want to know. Understood this point now? Understood this point now? Whenever I filled form 1, whenever I am filling form 2, sir, where the data is available in the internet world? So where it is available means object, not only concept. So here in the real-time market, background, one object will be there. Background, one object will be there. One object. Background, one object will be there. Whenever you fill the form 1, whenever you clicked on next now, the data is submitted. The data is loaded here. The object will be loaded with the data. The object will hold the data. Now, after filling the form 2, submitting, the data will be updated to this object. Whenever you filled form 3, going for form 4, again the data is updated here. Whenever you say form, next form, the data is updated here. Whenever you say preview, from this object we show the data, that only concept. That will show it. Understood this point, right? Now, whenever I say, okay, my details are correct, finally submit. Whenever I say submit now the database will be updated. All are learning Oracle now. The database will be updated. Updated in the database. Updated in database. All of you understood this point now, right? In the background to all the web applications today, object is holding the data. That's a concept. All of you understood this. The objects are playing because object-oriented programmers will have high demand in the internet world. So what you are doing now? Sir, I am going to HTML, sir, to learn HTML forms. I am going to one Oracle trainer, sir, to train that database. I am coming to Core Java, sir, to learn objects. Understood this point? Why we asked to go with 3 parallel batches? That's the reason. If we come to my room, object training is available. If you go to HTML trainer, he trains front end. How to create HTML form, how to link them, how to give a color, how to align them, he train it. When you go to database trainer, he creates how to create one table, how to insert the data, how to retrieve the data, how to update the data, they'll train it. So that the 3 knowledges we bring together and put it into advanced for applications. That's a theory. So why I drawn this diagram means to create one thought in you. Okay, in real-time market, background to all the applications, one object is storing the data. So what is object now? Object is a storage. What is object now? Object is a storage holding. Static components and non-static components are. Non-static components. It is a storage created part of heap area holding non-static components of class. That is known as object. Understood this point now? From today, object is a storage related to one class holding non-static components of class. Make a statement. Now this diagram I drawn, no? Right. If I come to advanced Java, I'll prove it. If I am in the advanced Java batch for you, I'll prove it. Same application, I'll prove it. I'm typing already, live code I'm giving. To educate a student, what is object we are giving? There's only bean objects. In real time, they'll say bean object, Pojo object, Spring object, web service object, they'll say. That objects in the background will be holding. to hold that data, they had high demand for object-oriented programmers. If you know maximum objects, you can come and work. That only object-oriented programmers will have high demand in the internet world because all background data are under the objects. After objects holding the data only, the data will be moved to database. From the database, again, it will come to the object. It is happening in the market already. If you take one facebook.com, www.facebook.com, enter your username and password, login successful. But in the background, what happens? One object created, the object loads with your user details. And welcome, your name will come in the top bar, not now. www.gmail.com. When the login successful, one object created, the object is loaded with user details. So welcome, your name is coming or not now. www.irctc.co.in. Web application. When the login successful, your name will come. Login into some name is coming or not now. Background, one object is created holding user details. Bank of Baroda, pure Java website. Bank of Baroda, international bank, total Java, they'll use it. You can check that and down they'll give the link also. Open it. www.bankofbaroda.com. In the down, if you want to download latest JRE, click here. They'll give a link also too. Means that is running on your Java. So there they will say very clearly to you. Very clearly means all cascading internally, everything happened with your Java flavor. So background, the objects are Javas. So objects are storages. Very clearly. Make a statement. So object is a storage. Object is a storage. Or you can say memory also. One small memory, you can say. One small memory. But I'm calling it as storage. Why I'm calling it as storage means we say 4 storages. Field storage, object storage, file storage, database storage. Object-oriented programmer, first he keeps the data in the object. Then only he keeps the data in the database. That is a rule. First you have to keep in your object. Because object-oriented programmer, storage is object only for us. We keep the data in the object. Student details into one object. Employee details into one object. Address into one object. The work we are going to do now. So object is a storage related to a class. Object is a storage related to a class holding non-static components of class. Non-static components of class. Object is a storage related to a class holding non-static components of class. So before writing this definition, I prepared your mindset as a static, non-static. I prepared your mindset. Understood or not now? Second point. Objects are created in heap area of JVM. Already you know the diagram, but I'm writing the statement. So what is object? Storage. What it contains? Non-static components. Where it is created? Heap area. That is the answer. Understood this point or not now? Make it. Second point. Objects are created. Objects are created. Objects are created in heap area of JVM. Objects are created in heap area of JVM. So what is object? Storage. Where it is created? Heap area. What object contains? Non-static components. It never holds static. Static means class will not give static. It gives only non-static. Real-time market also that only. Right? Okay. Now, I want to create objects, sir. How can I create? So we use new keyword in Java to create objects. Make it. Third point. We use new keyword in Java We use a new keyword in Java to create objects. We use a new keyword in Java to create objects. We use new keyword in Java to create objects. Now, syntax of object creation. Syntax means rule, coding rule, how to create or how to use new keyword. Right. So class name, object name equal to new class name. Class name, object name is equal to new class name. So write one box and keep it. Class name, object name is equal to new class name. I'll draw the diagram also, don't worry. JVM is there, no? I'll show the diagrammatical form also, where it is created, when it is created. First, I'm introducing syntax. Got it right? So whenever you want to create object in Java, I written. Why I written in Java means other languages, I don't know. That is the meaning actually. Venkatesh sir don't know other languages. So in Java, I use a new keyword. Why means I don't want to confuse the student. Specifically, I'm writing. Because in Python, object will come automatically. Don't speak to Python people, confusion will come. Don't speak to C people, they'll give it more confusion to you because they don't know objects, no. Sir, I am only learning C language, Java, sir, Python means you are the most confused student, I think. Because don't mix it, right? Okay, anyway, right, look here. Hope in that information I given to you, from today, what is object now? Storage. What object will hold now? Non-static components. Where objects are created? Heap area. How to create object now? Using new keyword. What is the syntax now? Class name, object name is equal to new class name. Object came now, right? Now I must use in the program now. The syntax I must use in the program or not now, right? Before using that syntax now, non-primitive data types, you come down. I am bringing. Because working with them only in object-oriented programming or not now. What is the first component in the non-primitive now? Class. Already class came, no? Right. But we are writing one or two definitions, one or two lines about class and continuing. Right. Make a shading class again. I written class is a structured layout generating objects. Sir, at last I got the definition about objects, sir, but I don't know structured layout. Underline that structured layout. Whatever you don't know, you underline and keep it. You know objects, no? Yes or no, na? Object, some information is available with you about objects. Structured layout still not entered. Okay, right? Class is a structured layout generating objects. Without classes, objects will not come. Understood this point now, right? So class is there means object will come. Class not there means object will not come. So who generate objects means classes will generate objects. So we are giving training about class, but objects will come out. Our program is class-oriented programming, object-oriented programming, object-oriented programming. But we are giving training on the class or not now. If you make your class construction correctly, objects will come out correctly. So objects are generated from the classes. That's the meaning actually. What class will hold now? Right. Sir, in the last week, class will hold variables, methods, and main. Main also comes under method category, no? Yes or no? Na? So can I write class is a collection of variables and methods? Because main also comes under method category, right? Make it. Class is a collection of variables and methods. Class is a collection of variables and methods. So I repeated this definition yesterday also, right? Many times, 1, 2, 3 times I written, right? Okay. Now, you know where class is loaded? Where class is loaded? Method area. So the third point I'm writing now. You must know the location, no? So always from today, definition, location, syntax, everything you must learn. If anything not getting, you speak to me. Sir, you said constructor. No, sir. Definition, I got it, sir. Sir, where is the location? Show it. I'll show it. If I miss any location, you can ask me. Sir, I'm not getting the location. You are saying one component to me. You said one example. If I say block, sir, I show the location, sir, where it is available. Method area, na, heap area, na, somewhere I will show it, no. Then only your mind will be stick to that location. The same way, object means you fixed your mindset. It is in the heap area. So class means fix your mindset. It is in the method area. Classes are loaded. Make it. Third point. Classes are loaded into method area of JVM. Method area of JVM. Right. Okay. Now, next point you are changing now. Classes in Java are categorized into 2 types. Make a statement. Fourth point. Classes in Java are categorized into 2 types. Classes in Java are categorized into 2 types. 1. User defined classes. Built-in classes. User defined classes and built-in classes. Some classes we construct it. Some classes will come from the library. The library classes we call it as built-in classes. The classes what we construct we call it as user defined classes. Above one program is user defined class only. Display. We only written or not now? Make it. User defined classes. 1 line. The classes which are defined by the programmer. Your programmer only user. He writes, he uses. The classes which are defined by the programmer are known as user defined classes. User defined classes. Up to now, only one program, display.java. That is a user defined class. So no need to write that example. Just you write the theoretical points. We go forward. Built-in classes. Built-in classes. The classes which are ready constructed and available from Java library. The classes which are ready constructed and available from Java library are known as built-in classes, or you can say predefined classes. built-in classes or predefined classes, you can say. So some classes we have to construct it. Some classes will come from library. That's the theoretical information now. Okay, right. Now classes will hold what now? Variables and methods. So the class can be built in. The class can be user defined. Whatever the class can be, it has variables and methods. So let us have a discussion on variables. Make it star mark IMP. Variables in Java. Variables in Java. Variables in Java. Already I said no. Variables are the data holders. I'm repeating always. Third time I'm repeating this definition. Make it. Variables are the data holders. Data holders. Variables are the data holders. Variables are the data holders. Based on data types, the variables are categorized into two types. Based on data types, the variables are categorized into two types. Primitive data type variables. Primitive data type variables. Non-primitive data type variables. Primitive data type variables and non-primitive data type variables. Primitive data type variables and non-primitive data type variables. Because only two data types are there. The variables can be only two types, whether primitive data type variable or non-primitive data type variable. The variable will hold single value or the variable will hold group value. Only two types of variables. Now, primitive data type variables. So this much of preparation we are doing for object introduction. Right. The variables which are declared with primitive data types like byte, short, int, long, float, double. I'm writing all together. Double, char, and Boolean are known as primitive data types. Primitive data type variables. The variables which are declared with primitive data types like byte or short or int or long, that 8 types total. 4 from integer, 2 from float, 1 from character, 1 from Boolean. This 8 type of variables, we call it as primitive data type variables. Only 8 types. Total Java journey, only 8 types comes under primitive data type variables. Make it. These primitive data type variables will hold. These primitive data type variables will hold values. Underline the term values. These primitive data type variables will hold values. Non-primitive data type variables. The variables which are declared, with non-primitive data types like class, interface, array, and enum are known as non-primitive data type variables. Non-primitive data type variables, or you can say reference variables. Reference data type variables. These non-primitive data type variables will hold object references. Underline the term object references. Will hold object references. Will hold object references. Primitive data type variables will hold values. Non-primitive data type variables will hold object references. That's the concept. Right? Okay. Now, all are having habit of reading the notes. Right? Read the notes. So daily you read the notes, because that concept you have to adapt it. Right? Initially, for 20 days you must be alert, because many things will be revealed. After 20 days you'll be in the track. You'll understand what has been happened. You'll do. See, 6 p.m. batch, they never ask a single question to me. I'll be sitting there. For this batch I'll be rushing, but before batch I'll be free only. 4 to 5:40 I'll sit for 20 days. I'll eat something and I'll come inside. Actually, I'll be sitting there, but no people will ask me a doubt, because they are in the track already. So all they will understand objects, total 30 objects I given to you. So they'll be using and going on. Any new application comes, then they'll ask a question. For you also to keep on the track, it takes 21 days. As a trainer, for me, it takes time. So the technique is you have to read the notes. Read the notes. The notes will be converted into code forms. This is all we are going to show. I said values, I'll show. I said object references, I'll show. The variable is going to hold object reference or value. See there? I'll scroll back here. Whenever I scroll here now, sir, in core Java, Java alphabets, we started variables or not now? Okay, right. Classes. You got the definition of class now? Right. These classes, how many types will come now? Sir, user defined classes. Here, built-in classes. Some will come from library. Some we have to define it. Okay, right. Still, And now I'm going to train 1 or 2 user-defined classes. I'll train it. After that, I'll bring the built-in classes. Okay, right? String class, built-in class. Wrapper class, built-in class. System class, built-in class. I'll bring them slowly. Okay, right? Now I touched variables or not now, right? How many types of variables are available to you now? How many types now? 2 types. So primitive data type variables. These primitive data type variables will hold values. Very important information that is. Okay, right? Non-primitive data type variables. Non-primitive data type variables will hold what now? Object references. Nothing but object addresses. References is going to hold it. So now I started variable part of user-defined class. I'm going to write it. I'm going to take one user-defined class. I'm going to train these variables. That only concept I'm going to do. Okay, right? So we are under concept known as object-oriented because object is coming. Understood now? So under object-oriented, we have to work with non-primitive. So we are going to work with classes, variables, methods. So we are under object-oriented. I am demonstrating the features of class and object. So the work started. Understood now? So hugely the syllabus is entering. Understood now? At last I'll cover it and you don't write it. I will write the list. Everything I'll write there and I'll give to you. What I covered. Under encapsulation, what I covered. Under polymorphism, what I covered. Under inheritance, what I covered. Under this exception handling, what I covered. Under Java, I'll write the list also down. What I covered, I'll write it. I'll prepare one biggest index, I'll prepare and give to you. I only will prepare it. So this I kept in the first page. That is the reason. Every time I'll come to the first page, whatever I cover, I'll update there and go back. That's a technical play. Okay, right? So at last, I am entering into variables. Now, the statement is, the variables can be primitive. The variables can be non-primitive. But they are declared with one keyword, static and non-static. Yes or no? So based on static keyword, the variables are categorized into 2 types, static variables and non-static variables. Make a statement. No problem. Up to 995 daily. Sometimes I'll go up to 910, 915. No problem. No problem. Problem for me only. I'll start the classes by 9 to 9:30. I'll be speaking 12 hours per day. This is my 12th hour I'm speaking. With the same pitch, I'll speak it. This time the 12th hour I'm speaking. Right. Problem not for you, for me, I think. Right. Make it. Star mark IMP. Based on static keyword. Based on static keyword. Why means that class missed for me. On the day Zoom shutdown, no, that 20 minutes class is affecting me. Because Saturday is coming, no, one plan is there for me. With that plan I am traveling. That 20-25 minutes class affected me. Okay, right. Based on static keyword, the variables are categorized into 2 types. Based on static keyword, the variables are categorized into 2 types. Static variables and non-static variables. Static variable means with a static keyword. Non-static variable means without a static keyword. That's all. So static variables and non-static variables. 2 types will be there. So from where you took this category means, see there, scrolling up. That can be primitive. In primitive also, we had two types. So static will be there among this. Static will be there among this. Non-static will be there. Static will be there. Non-static will be there. Among this non-primitive also, we had static and non-static. So static means class level, object level. Class level. The variable will get the memory within the class or not. Static keyword is there means blindly you can say the variable will get the memory within the class. So that is a statement. Now make it static variables. I'll read the definition and stop it. So tomorrow I'll continue that program location. Tomorrow don't miss the class anyway, because I'm going to show the memories of a static variable, instance variable, local variable, locations will come, right? After that, methods will come. Method locations will come. Because already you know, static means class level, nonce, already you know. But even then, I'll show the object location to you very clearly. So write the first definition for my satisfaction here. The variables which are declared with static keyword. The variables which are declared with static keyword are known as static variables, or you can say class variables. In real-time market, in your companies, they'll use a term known as class variables. The term is what now? Class variable. Class variable means variable got the memory in the class. So they call it as class variable. So static variable, we say orally in the training process. But in the real-time market, they'll say class variable. Meaning is the variable got the memory in the class. That's the meaning. These static variables will get the memory within the class. The static variables will get the memory within the class while class loading. The static variables will get the memory within the class while class loading. While class loading, right? So here, example program should come at last to demonstrate one static variable. That's the concept. So after locating the static variable, then we introduce non-static variable. In non-static variable, the object will come. That's the concept. Right? Can we take a break for today? Right. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, crucial to us at any way. So programs will come, 3 or 4 programs. I'll keep it for 2 days anyway. So I'm expecting you'll read the notes and come for it, because huge content delivered today. Read the notes. Anyway, Google Classroom also entered. Now within 10 minutes, I'll upload the notes there. Okay, right. Thank you very much for today. If anybody want to join Google Classroom, these are the numbers. Put a request, right? Okay. So thank you very much for today. Take a break.